that's upright. I'll hold that in place. I take my Sharpie. Alright, so I had to stop recording. It's kind of throwing me off a little bit. So right there and right there was my original mark on the other side. After measuring and making sure both sides were the same, I took the measurements over there, I brought it here. That was my mark right there. And then using my tool, I get a line that's a little bit higher than that. So if I measure that line difference, so we have an 1/8 inch difference in between those lines. If I measure the flares, and about the same spot, this comes out to 6 1/4. And this one, same spot, is 6 1/8. So that 1/8 difference is why I'm seeing that. Though this is the driver's side, and the passenger side is 1/4 inch longer, and that's why that line at the top is a little bit higher. Alright, so I'm going to do this one a little bit different. We're going to put the threaded inserts and the holes in first. I'm going to line up with the body line down here in the edge of the fender, and then we're going to do the same over here, the edge of the fender. I'm also trying to keep the same gap that I have in the rear, so it's 1.5 inches. And right here where it's at is going to be 1.5 inches. So both of the sides are going to have to get flexed in just a little bit. It's off just a hair, but not enough to put like a ton of pressure on it. I think it'll be all right. All right, so we're gonna kind of cut straight in up to that 1 inch gap. This is the top of the flare, so 1 inch away from that. We'll get this cut out, and then we'll do the same on this side. It'll kind of taper back out and then cut kind of straight. And that should kind of, I think, make it look a little bit more continuous with the rest of the stuff. It should line up with the front balance and continue with that. And then same with the rest of the fender. It should kind of line up with it. Here's a little trick. So I'm doing a 1 inch gap from my outside mark where the tip of the flare is and the top. So I cut a piece of filler down shorter than 1 inch. I added the tip of my Sharpie here to make it a total of 1 inch. What I'm going to do is use this to guide me for a 1 inch cut line all the way from start to finish, from the beginning of the flare to the end of the flare where we're going to cut all this metal out. So I'm using this also to clamp onto it and just kind of make it easier. It just like glides across. So I already started doing a little bit here. So I'm just going to mark the top, start it back a little bit, put my Sharpie at the tip and just follow it. So if anybody was wondering why I used two different style nuts to be able to clamp the flares down, any areas that had aggressive angles, I used the well nut because it allows you to kind of have a little bit of play in between the bolt and the fastener. And then any area that had a flat, straight surface, I used the rivet nut just to make sure that it was for sure clamped. It's more of a permanent type of fastener. I'm worried about these well nuts potentially coming loose and the flares popping off down the road. So areas like down there, it's kind of hard to see. You can see it's kind of more at a flat spot to where the flare isn't crooked up against the fender. So then that's why I used a rivet nut for that area. Then for the well nut, as you can see, there's a very aggressive angle to that. So that's why I used it right there.